Ahoy, shipmates! It's P&O Iona. This is a rather unusual video, as Iona is not actually going anywhere. She's just coming out of 46 berth there and turning around. But the weather has not been very nice lately. Even my dog Rusty was a little bit confused. He couldn't even see where he was going. It was so windy. Poor chap. He loves a bit of frisbee. Anyway, back to Iona. Iona's in port for the first time ever. The first time we're seeing Iona. She came in last week and it was terrible weather. Had a lot of wind and rain. Caught a bit of a break, but unfortunately I didn't get a chance to go out droning. But I did make a live stream. I'll put the link up in the top right hand corner or something like that. Iona is the newest cruise ship in P&O's fleet, originally due to be delivered last year, and maiden voyage and an inaugural sailing and a naming ceremony and all these other exciting events were going to happen last year, but obviously due to the pandemic it all got postponed. So Iona is now in port. Yeah, unfortunately, due to the weather, I couldn't drone Iona arriving, which is a bit of a shame, but I've taken this opportunity now while Iona is just coming out from 46 berth, spinning around and going back in, probably for some lifeboat checking, I should imagine. Let's get a photo. We've got Queen Elizabeth there in the background. Some good clouds in the sky again. We've had some really great clouds lately. Going to take an opportunity here to take quite a few photographs as we didn't get the chance which came in. Launched in February of 2020. I'm obviously just waiting until the pandemic ends. I'm not entirely sure when the first cruise on Iona takes place. I have a feeling it's somewhere in the middle of August. Of course, we've already had the first cruise ship with passengers on board depart last week. That was the MSC Virtuosa on May the 20th. It was her maiden voyage from Port Southampton. Only 1,000 passengers on board due to COVID restrictions. I believe there was some region of 1,300 crew. That's a great ratio, plenty of good service on that ship. Just turning a little more to starboard. The light in sun is just arriving, so I think it's time for another shot. Got a little bit of interest there from the red jets zipping off to the Isle of Wight. Like I say, some more of those fantastic clouds again. It's been a very strange weather month in May so far. In fact, the red jet services have been suspended quite a lot due to some really high winds we've been having, 70 mile an hour plus here in port. Well, the Iona's not travelling very far. She's just coming out of 46 berth, coming out here, turning around and going back in again. Some of the cruise ships we've had do this manoeuvre have carried it out quite quickly in sort of 10-15 minutes. Iona is definitely taking a lot longer over this, but I did hear on the radio that was because they were moving the fenders in port. You have to have a small work vessel that moves the fenders around. They're very large, and I think the positioning was taking a little longer. I imagine perhaps on some of the smaller cruise ships they don't need to move the fenders necessarily, but for a beast such as Iona, it's necessary. 184,000 gross tons is Iona, and a length of 344 metres, making her very nearly as long as Queen Mary II. "16 complete decks and 3 partial decks. Gives a capacity of 5,206 passengers, with a crew of 1,762. You can see this slowly turning, gradually allowing me a great photo opportunity. And the sun came out just as I took a few photos, and this is getting good now. I think the sky's good, water's interesting. We've got the Queen Elizabeth in the very background. Oh, it's not a bad shot. They're getting better as we're going along here. This is good. Iona, of course, was named after a Scottish island. There was a competition to name the new P&O flagship. 30,000 entries were submitted, and Iona was the winning entry. Iona has 17 different eateries on board, including 8 restaurants designated as select dining, and 12 different bars. That sounds like a great opportunity to find some rum on board. There are 16 whirlpools and 4 swimming pools, one of which is housed underneath the Sky Dome, which we can just about see in about the middle of the ship. P&O Iona is also an LNG-powered ship. That's liquid natural gas. This is the first LNG-powered cruise ship in P&O's fleet. I don't know if she's the first LNG-powered cruise ship out there. We had the CMA CGM Jacques Sard container ship come in a couple of months ago, and that was the first LNG-powered container ship into port. It seems to be a growing trend now to move across to LNG power. At the naming ceremony the other day, we had Gary Barlow and Joe Wiley attending. And there were lots of flashing lights as well. But have a look, see if we can get a decent photo here, shall we? I quite like that one. I'm not sure which one's the best. I think it might have been one of the earlier ones. Yeah, we've just missed the sun lighting up Iona. Well, my pictures are available on the Instagram, so if you're interested, join the Instagram account. That's Solent Ships UK, or follow me on Twitter. I post the pictures on there as well. Or join the Patreon. You'll get first knowledge of when I post a picture. Here's some footage from earlier of when Iona arrived. She had a water salute from the 2 tugs in port. We did get quite a good view as she came up Southampton water. It's certainly the advantage of having the live streaming cameras operating. Even if the weather doesn't allow me to drone, at least I can still get some good quality footage from the cameras. I'm just going to leave you with some of the footage from the Iona's inaugural arrival in Port Southampton the other day. Hopefully when she departs with passengers, I will be able to get the drone out if the weather obliges. Recently it's been very unseasonal, very disappointing. But if you are enjoying these videos, shipmates, and the content in general, do think about subscribing and hitting that notification bell. And then when I fire up a live stream of something like the maiden arrivals or maiden voyages of ships, I think you'll get a notification and you'll be able to follow along. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Till next time, shipmates.